All right, this is not a question. This is just a affirmation. Then I'll follow up with the question. Are you going with the same rotation this weekend?
We are.
Okay.
We are.
I know clearly, the team you just played wanted to win all 4 games and whatnot, but is there something different for you? And if so, what is it when you go to the ballpark on a Friday for a conference opener?
Oh, I don't know if it's anything different other than we know those guys a little bit better within our league. And, the group we played last week with Connecticut and Gonzaga, both those staffs do a really good job with their teams, and as does Oklahoma State. And, Josh and Rob and Marty and all those guys, they do a really good job running a program, and just know you got to show up and earn the right to win.
We'll go to Carlos.
Coach, I know you guys have been tested so far. You're on a little winning streak. What do you feel you've learned about your team so far throughout these non-conference schedules so far?
Yeah, I think we learned a little bit on Monday. I think they really like playing. And I think anytime we ask college athletes to compete 4 days in a row, you kind of see who really likes competing and who likes playing. And we got a bunch that really does like playing baseball and want to get a little bit better each day. And of course, there's individual things. Obviously within the roster that you learn about guys, and that's a continuous process as we go.
Carlos, if you have a follow-up, go ahead.
Just to follow up on that, Coach, in terms of these close games where you get these victories, what can be kind of taken away from those that you can learn from or just take from going into the future, especially so early and against these high-quality opponents?
That's how the baseball game was played that day. And each game kind of presents its own challenges. We happened to play a few that were close. In order to come out on the right side of those, you need some good fortune in this game. Balls have to find holes sometimes for that to happen. Obviously you got to pitch and play defense and things that you got to do to win a baseball game. I think our guys don't mind playing those type games. But as far as what you take away from it, to me, each day is its own, and you try to go win that day. And if that means, you win by a few runs or you win by one, whatever you got to do to do it.
We'll go to Bishop.
Hey, Coach, just talking about these last couple of competitive series, how do you think they help you prepare for the competitive nature of Big 12 play?
Individually within each guy, you're talking about trying to discover what makes each guy go and trying to, play at the highest level they can individually. Getting to play, I guess it ended up being 6 games and a little less than a week is invaluable. Guys learn to use the physical reps of practice to get better, at the mental side of it. And the better you can dominate the mental side of this game, the better you're going to be.
Coach, can you speak to their starter, Scott Parker, and how he's kind of improved himself so far? Because it seems like every year they're always trotting out a guy that can really kind of be the number one for anyone in the Big 12.
Yeah, Parker's his name's Parker Scott. Want to say he's from Stillwater. Want to say he walked on there and earned a scholarship within his first couple of years. We were talking about it a minute ago downstairs. I think he was in the same high school class as Caleb Killian, if that tells you how old he is. I want to say he's listed as a redshirt junior, is what Matt was just telling me. So he'd been in school quite some time. It's fastball. He's got a good fastball, a good changeup, good breaking ball. Has always, Rob's always done a good job with their starters and mixing. You know, and he's just a guy that's he's always been very competitive. You know, ironically, you think about it. I mean, I can remember some at bats Josh had against him. That's been a while. I mean, I'm not talking about 2 years ago either. I'm talking about a little further back than that. So he's a guy. I mean, because of the pandemic and everything that's happened, you know, that's still in college baseball, and yeah, I think they're obviously benefiting from that.
Go ahead, Carlos.
Just switching to the offensive side, Coach, I know Oklahoma State's known for their hitting and kind of their power hitting, just with the two guys with 5 home runs, another one with 4. I guess, how do you kind of prepare your pitchers to kind of negate some of that potential power that they do have in their lineup? Is it a matter of just trying to, like you said, mix your pitches? Is it try to play to the park? Or I guess what do you try to help your team do to make sure that they're making the pitches that'll help them win?
I mean, the simplest thing is command the fastball in all quadrants of the strike zone. That's easier said than done. Strike one always helps. I can talk about that all I want to talk about. It's another thing to go out and execute it. And, you know, we've got 3 guys or 4 that we feel like, you know, do a really good job of preparing, get ready each week, and they embrace that opportunity to go out and compete. By no means are they going to be perfect. You just want them to continue to, you know, try to make pitches. And they do have some guys with some power, as does everybody within our league and the teams we just played.
Go back to David.
Sticking with their offense, Coach, a lot of different faces in there. What have you seen from them leading up? I know Garcia and Cabanis are still in there, but what have you seen from them leading up to this? Obviously, they had a pretty tough series before this one against Vanderbilt.
Yeah. So they do have some new faces. There's also some guys that have been there. You mentioned Garcia. I want to say there's, you know, I would say there's 4 or 5 guys there that have been there. Merle's kind of been in and out of their lineup, I think probably because of an injury. You know, they do a really good job with their hitters. They always, you know, are very patient type hitters. And, I mean, it's a deal. You got to go out and be aggressive and pitch.
Keith.
Coach, without the midweeks now and with not a whole lot on the schedule in the future, what role do you envision Micah moving into here as, you know, weekend series become the only focus?
Yeah, our schedule's kind of interesting as it looks, you know, definitely into April. We'll go week to week on that. Obviously, we're pitching him out of the bullpen this weekend. He obviously, I mean, we could pitch him on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday and not lose a beat as far as a starter. But as it sits right now, it just seems like it's the right thing to do to have him in the bullpen for this weekend, and we'll go from there.
Keith, did you have a follow-up?
I did. Just curious if, like in Arlington, you still had that kind of piggyback mentality for him, and if there was anybody in particular you like pairing him with.
We like him coming out of the bullpen after anybody. Obviously, he's a guy who has a lot of experience. We also like him starting. Like, I'd have no problem running him out there tomorrow. Just so happens Birdsell had a pretty good start last week, and so did the other 2. And so it's just not the time right now to try to, you know, move guys around. We like regular rest. There's a reason we pitched Micah when we did last weekend, so he'd be ready to go this weekend. And so, and we'll just, again, we're going to have to evaluate that as we go. And if he ends up being one of our best starters, that's fine too.
All right. We're going from Keith, and then we'll go to David.
So I know that obviously baseball, not a, halftime speech kind of sport, but big emotional game for you guys on Monday. And then for the Cowboys losing a midweek, in a neutral site. Does that play in your mind at all into prep for a weekend and, whether it's good or bad for either team?
Oh, I think ours is more day to day. I can't really speak for them for their program. Ours, we're going to try to get a little bit better each day. As you know, the Lubbock weather yesterday was about as bad as I've ever seen. And so we were kind of limited yesterday on what we could do outside. And that's not normal for us. Wind doesn't bother us, cold doesn't bother us. But yesterday it was a combination of the two. So I think it's important we have a good workout today, get the guys moving around, and kind of get them out of the cage, in other words. So, but to speak for their program, I'm not going to do that. I mean, they, I do know that, Tuesday games, I mean, sometimes that happens, and especially at a neutral site. It's a baseball game. So.
Call that a Kurt Wilson win yesterday, Coach. I know you've got work to do. You've got work to do tomorrow, but you're going to be able to watch a little basketball in the early afternoon.
We're usually pretty busy on game day. We'll have it on around the ballpark. As far as actually sitting down and watching it, that's going to be tough with the way our days play out. Now we'll watch key moments if we need to, and we'll have it on and rooting for them definitely.